required to wear a black dress. Everyone else was still wearing white. And I believe that the black dress was to establish and to let the partygoers know who to look for if you did want extras. And the black dress is the first time that I recognized that I was drugged. I got numb. I got loopy. I felt like a zombie.
Put him to sleep.
I don't like people like finger banging me and things entering me like that. And with the black dress, they would lift it up as I'm walking by and try to stick their fingers in my ass.
Diddy is in more trouble than ever. This week alone brought a massive $100 million lawsuit, renewed speculation tied to Tupac, and escalating prison-related developments. I'm breaking down every major update using a tier list, and some of these moments are genuinely shocking. If you're just catching up, this is your weekly rundown of everything that's happened with Diddy over the past few days. A lot went down, so the tier list helps keep it all straight. Here's the system. S tier is completely unexpected. A tier is wild but plausible. B tier is surprising with warning signs. And D tier is information most people already know. Before we start ranking everything, quick disclaimer. I'm not here to rehash every detail of why Diddy is locked up. That's already been covered everywhere. Instead, we're focusing on how the situation escalated this week. Diddy has been held in a New Jersey facility for months and is facing serious federal charges, along with a growing number of civil lawsuits. His criminal trial is expected later this year, and many are already calling it one of the most high-profile celebrity cases in recent memory. What makes this especially unusual is how active he's been while incarcerated. Most celebrities go quiet and let their legal team speak, but Diddy hasn't. He's continued filing legal actions, releasing statements, and pushing back publicly. And the developments from this past week, things have escalated fast. First major update, Diddy has filed a $100 million lawsuit against NBC Universal, Peacock, and Ample Entertainment over a recent documentary. The project, The Making of a Bad Boy, reportedly portrays him in a way he strongly disputes. In the filing, Diddy calls the documentary a misleading hit piece, arguing it relies on rumors and unverified claims that damage his reputation. What raises the stakes is that he submitted a sworn affidavit, meaning his statements are made under oath and carry legal consequences if proven false. In that affidavit, Diddy directly denies any involvement in the death of Kimberly Porter, addressing long-running public speculation. By putting this denial in writing, he's taking a firm and formal stance on the record. And according to the filing, that wasn't the only claim he addressed. In the same affidavit, Diddy denies any involvement in the deaths of Christopher Wallace, Andre Harrell, and Heavy D, all major figures in hip-hop history. By addressing these long-standing rumors directly, he's placing firm denials on the official record. He also responds to allegations tied to so-called party claims, denying under oath that he ever used recordings for coercion or extortion. He further states there was no involvement with minors, making those denials explicit and formal.
Y'all probably don't know this one of my long-term friends, though she done good for herself.
Crazy story.
Yeah, but this was a long time ago before, anything popped. So we just here on a Sunday, enjoying life, Sunday fun day.
As for why the lawsuit targets NBC Universal so aggressively, his legal team argues the documentary was rushed to release. They claim it was pushed out quickly to compete with a separate project reportedly connected to 50 Cent and Netflix, and that this rush led to poor sourcing and weak standards. One of the key arguments in the lawsuit is how the documentary was sourced. According to Diddy's legal team, it relied on just 3 voices: Jaguar Wright, Gene Deal, and one anonymous source. His lawyers argue that this is far too limited for a project making claims of this scale, and that the reporting leaned more towards sensationalism than verification. They also highlight how Kim Porter's official cause of death, pneumonia, as documented in medical records, was handled in the film. While it was technically included, they claim it appeared only briefly, making it easy to overlook. Diddy's team says unproven theories were given far more attention than confirmed facts, which they argue created a misleading impression for viewers. In their view, this imbalance is a central reason the documentary crossed the line. I'm placing this update in B tier. Filing sworn affidavits in a $100 million lawsuit is a bold move, but it's also not surprising. Diddy has the resources and legal backing to push back aggressively, so while it's notable, it wasn't completely unexpected. Now, moving into heavier territory. A separate civil lawsuit filed by a man named Steve Otis has added new attention this week. The claim dates back to an alleged 2012 incident in a Manhattan hotel and includes accusations of verbal threats. According to the lawsuit, Diddy is alleged to have made a statement referencing Tupac Shakur. The filing presents this as intimidation language, not as a factual admission, and it remains an unproven allegation that has not been ruled on in court. As with all civil claims, these allegations are disputed and will ultimately be evaluated through the legal process. In the lawsuit, the statement is framed by the plaintiff's legal team as more than just heated language, arguing it was meant to intimidate by implying power and influence. However, this interpretation is part of the claim itself and has not been proven in court. Steve Otis alleges that fear kept him from coming forward for years. According to the filing, he says he only felt safe pursuing legal action after Sean Combs was incarcerated, believing that doing so earlier could have put him at risk. These claims relate to an alleged 2012 incident in a Manhattan hotel and remain disputed. As with all civil claims, the allegations will ultimately be tested through the legal process. According to the lawsuit, the alleged incident escalated significantly that night. Steve Otis claims he became suddenly disoriented after accepting a drink, saying he was unable to think clearly or react normally. The filing goes on to allege that Diddy subjected him to non-consensual and coercive conduct, which Otis's legal team characterizes as an abuse of power intended to intimidate and humiliate. These claims are presented as part of a broader civil allegation and are strongly disputed.
Couple of friends, love, life, laughter. So we were just talking about built up with Snapchat. I think Snapchat more.
What's that?
Yeah, I don't need silver. Yeah.
Otis further alleges that when he attempted to remove himself from the situation, the encounter became physical. He claims the incident caused lasting harm. These accusations remain unproven and will be evaluated through the legal process. The lawsuit also references events Otis says occurred years later. He claims that after leaving a public comment on Diddy's social media in 2014, he began receiving messages that he interpreted as threatening. According to the filing, these messages allegedly came through individuals he associates with Cowboys for Angels, the same group he says initially connected him to Diddy. Otis further alleges that guard James, who he identifies as being affiliated with the agency, contacted him with warnings meant to discourage him from speaking publicly. The lawsuit frames these communications as intimidation, though the claims are disputed and have not been proven in court. Taken together, Otis's filing describes a prolonged period of fear following the alleged incident. As with all civil allegations, these assertions will be examined through the legal process. The lawsuit also references additional alleged communications that Otis says occurred shortly afterward. According to the filing, he claims another individual connected to the same circle later relayed messages he interpreted as threatening. These allegations are disputed and have not been substantiated in court. When it comes to ranking this update, I'm placing it in A tier, not S tier. Claims linking Diddy to Tupac Shakur have circulated publicly for years through rumors and speculation. What makes this different is that the reference appears in a formal civil filing, presented as part of an intimidation allegation rather than established fact. That distinction matters. Being included in court documents raises the legal stakes, but it does not mean the claims have been proven. If the case proceeds, the plaintiff would be required to testify under oath, and the allegations would be challenged through the judicial process. For that reason, this development is significant and more serious than online rumors alone, but it still falls short of a definitive or proven turning point, which is why it lands in A tier. The lawsuit also outlines how Steve Otis says the meeting was arranged. According to the filing, He was booked through Cowboys for Angels, an agency he claims had previously connected him with Sean Combs. Otis alleges that someone he identifies as being affiliated with the agency facilitated the meeting and warned him beforehand to remain compliant and discreet, emphasizing Combs' influence and status. The lawsuit frames this as part of a broader pattern of pressure and intimidation, though these claims are disputed. According to the filing, Otis says that once he arrived at the hotel, he began to feel suddenly unwell and disoriented, which he presents as a key element of his allegation. The lawsuit claims the situation escalated from there, forming the basis of his civil complaint. As with all aspects of the case, these assertions have not been proven and will be examined through the legal process. The filing also references additional details the plaintiff says raised concern during the alleged encounter. Otis claims that certain actions and terminology used at the time made him believe the situation was unsafe and that he was unable to leave due to feeling physically impaired. The lawsuit describes what followed as coercive and non-consensual conduct, which Otis's legal team characterizes as an attempt to exert control and humiliation. These allegations are presented without graphic detail and are strongly disputed. Otis further alleges that when he attempted to remove himself from the situation, he was prevented from doing so, reinforcing his claim that he felt trapped and without a safe exit. As with all aspects of this case, these allegations remain unproven and will be addressed through the court process. According to the lawsuit, the plaintiff alleges the encounter reached its most serious point when the situation escalated into physical confrontation. Otis claims he was restrained briefly and unable to leave, and that the incident caused lasting distress. These allegations are disputed and have not been proven. The filing then shifts focus to the role of Cowboys for Angels, which Otis alleges was not merely a booking service, but an active intermediary. He claims the agency's operator, Garen James, facilitated encounters and emphasized silence and compliance, citing Sean Combs' influence as leverage. The lawsuit presents this as an alleged pattern of coordination and pressure, though no such conduct has been established in court. The agency remains operational, and all parties named deny wrongdoing. These claims will be evaluated through ongoing legal proceedings. The lawsuit frames the alleged relationship between Sean Combs and Garen James as one built on influence and access, with each party allegedly benefiting in different ways. These characterizations come solely from the plaintiff's claims and have not been established as fact. I'm placing this update in B tier. While the allegations are serious, they closely mirror themes already raised in other civil filings over the past year. That repetition makes this development notable, but not entirely unexpected at this point. Now, before moving on, it's important to draw a clear line. A recent blind item circulating online has sparked speculation involving Justin Bieber, but blind items are anonymous, unverified, and not evidence. Because they rely on implication rather than fact and often fuel misinformation, they're not something we can treat as credible reporting. For that reason, this discussion stays focused on verified legal filings and public responses, not rumor-based speculation.
How did you go about getting the footage, and do you know the intent of the videographer? Why?
When you're a reality star, you're so used to being able, you have a camera around you all the time, but when you have that kind of power and everything, I'm going to edit this.
And do you think that hip-hop culture was on trial as much as Sean Combs was?
Look, if I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as the hip-hop is fine with his behaviors.
A blind item circulating online has drawn attention by referencing Justin Bieber and his early exposure to the music industry. However, blind items are anonymous, unverified, and not evidence. And when they touch on someone who was a minor at the time, repeating or speculating on them becomes irresponsible. While old public footage exists of Bieber appearing around older industry figures during his teenage years, those moments were widely understood as professional mentorship and have never been substantiated as anything inappropriate. There are no verified allegations, lawsuits, or credible reporting supporting the implications suggested by the blind item. For that reason, this discussion does not speculate further. Unproven rumors involving minors cause harm, spread misinformation, and distract from confirmed legal matters. This channel sticks to documented cases and verifiable facts, not implication-based content. I'm not ranking this as A tier, and here's why. Any rumor that even hints at minors automatically demands extreme caution. Allegations involving underage individuals are not something that can be tier-ranked, speculated on, or inferred from silence or timelines without verified evidence. To be clear, there are no confirmed allegations, lawsuits, or credible reporting stating that Justin Bieber was harmed by Sean Combs or anyone else in this context. Blind items and online speculation do not meet any evidentiary standard, especially when they involve someone who was a minor at the time. Bieber has spoken publicly about industry pressure, mental health struggles, and feeling overwhelmed by fame, but those experiences cannot be retroactively tied to specific individuals without proof. Silence on its own is not evidence and should not be treated as implication. For that reason, this topic does not receive a tier ranking and won't be expanded on further. The focus remains on verified legal filings and documented facts, not rumor-based narratives that risk real harm. I want to be clear here. I'm not assigning a tier or speculating further on blind items involving minors. Even hoping something is false while still ranking it gives unverified rumors more weight than they deserve. When claims involve children, the only responsible move is to step back unless there are confirmed facts. With that boundary set, let's move on. The next topic shifts away from blind items and back to public claims circulating online, this time involving Sean Combs' well-known white parties. These events were famous for their all-white dress code and celebrity guest lists. Recently, a TikTok user shared a personal account claiming she experienced something unusual at one of these parties, alleging she was instructed to dress differently from other guests. This is a single, unverified social media claim and has not been supported by evidence of legal filings. As with online anecdotes, it's important to separate viral storytelling from verified reporting. Without corroboration, these claims remain personal allegations, not established facts. A separate claim circulating online comes from a TikTok user who describes her experience at one of Sean Combs' white parties. She alleges that she was instructed to dress differently from other attendees and later interpreted that as having a specific meaning. The creator further claims that the environment made her feel unsafe and that boundaries were crossed during the event. These statements are based solely on her personal account shared on social media and are not supported by legal filings, police reports, or independent verification. Because this allegation involves serious misconduct and comes only from an unverified online post, it cannot be treated as established fact. As with many viral claims, it remains an accusation, not evidence, and should be approached with caution. The TikTok creator's account goes further by suggesting the event followed a hidden system or structure. However, these claims are entirely unverified and are based on personal interpretation rather than documented evidence. There are no police reports, lawsuits, or corroborating witnesses supporting the idea of an organized or coded operation at these events. Assertions that Sean Combs or others deliberately planned or orchestrated misconduct are serious accusations that cannot be made without proof. At this time, they remain allegations shared on social media, not established facts. This is why stories like this, while emotionally powerful, need to be handled carefully. Viral narratives can quickly turn speculation into assumed truth, especially during high-profile scandals. Without verification, these claims should not be framed as evidence of patterns. This update does not land in B tier. Claims about secret systems or organized behavior at parties, when based solely on social media stories, don't meet the standard for anything above D tier. While the story is dramatic, it relies on rumor stacking rather than verified evidence, and repeating long-standing whispers doesn't make them factual. Now, let's address the next topic carefully. Online speculation has begun drawing comparisons between Sean Combs and Jeffrey Epstein, suggesting overlap in social circles. At this time, there is no documented evidence showing coordination, shared networks, or direct association between them. Being wealthy, famous, or based in the same city does not establish a connection. High-profile individuals often attend large-scale public events without any meaningful relationship. Without records, communications, or credible reporting linking the two, these claims remain speculative and should not be treated as fact. This discussion stays grounded in verified information, not theory-driven comparisons that can easily slide into misinformation. Some online commentary has pointed to the timing of several unrelated legal cases and suggested they may be connected. However, there is no evidence showing that recent legal actions involving different public figures are coordinated or part of a shared effort. High-profile investigations often overlap simply because they take years to develop and become public at different moments. One example being discussed online involves Mike Jeffries, the former head of Abercrombie. His legal situation is separate and unrelated to Sean Combs' case, and there is no indication they are connected.
This morning, never-before-seen footage of Sean Diddy Combs in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last September.
Good stuff in my fanny back.
The exclusive video obtained by Netflix shows Combs debating with his lawyers about strategy.
Listen to me. I'm going to get off the phone right now, and I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. Hey, no matter what nobody said, let's just here and there, y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
Commentary has also referenced Les Wexner and his past association with Jeffrey Epstein. While that relationship has been documented and examined publicly, it does not establish links between unrelated individuals or cases. Associations are not evidence, and timelines alone do not prove coordination. Without documented ties, shared charges, or verified reporting, suggesting a hidden connection between these events moves from analysis into speculation. This discussion stays grounded in confirmed facts, not coincidence-based theories. Online speculation has attempted to connect unrelated figures and cases by pointing to overlapping social circles and coincidental timing. For example, some commentary links Les Wexner, Mike Jeffries, Jeffrey Epstein, and Sean Combs as part of a broader theory. However, there is no verified evidence that these individuals operated together, shared systems, coordinated legal outcomes, or influenced each other's cases. Legal decisions related to competency, detention, or release are based on independent medical evaluations and court procedures, not proximity or coincidence. Claims that one high-profile defendant is cooperating with authorities and triggering arrests of others are also pure speculation. Cooperation agreements, when they exist, are documented through court records, not inferred from timing alone. While online theories often frame coincidence as conspiracy, timelines and associations by themselves do not establish connection. Without documents, charges, or credible reporting tying these cases together, these narratives remain unproven and should be treated with skepticism. Some online theories now argue opposing narratives, either that Sean Combs is being silenced or that others are distancing themselves to avoid scrutiny. These claims are speculative and not supported by verified evidence. Commentary has attempted to group Jeffrey Epstein, Les Wexner, Mike Jeffries, and Combs into a single narrative based on wealth, geography, and social overlap. However, attending similar events or operating in elite circles does not establish coordination, shared wrongdoing, or a hidden network. There is no credible evidence showing these individuals were part of an organized system, protected one another, or acted as a unified group. Assertions of a larger machine or coordinated cover-up go beyond the facts currently available. For that reason, this theory does not qualify for A tier. Without documentation, charges, or verified reporting tying these cases together, it remains D tier speculation, driven by coincidence rather than proof. Another topic gaining attention online involves public appearances by the Kardashian family at events hosted by Sean Combs. Archived photos and videos show members of the family attending some of the same high-profile parties and industry gatherings, which were widely covered at the time and included many celebrities. Attending public events or being photographed in the same social spaces does not indicate involvement in, awareness of, or responsibility for alleged misconduct. These gatherings were large, highly visible, and professional in nature, with guests often having limited interaction beyond the surface level. While some online commentary has questioned why the family has not publicly addressed current allegations surrounding Combs, silence alone is not evidence of knowledge or complicity. Many public figures choose not to comment on ongoing legal matters they are not directly involved in. Without statements, testimony, or verified reporting suggesting otherwise, these appearances remain examples of social proximity, not proof of awareness or wrongdoing. Online commentary has continued to speculate about the Kardashian family's past proximity to Sean Combs, largely based on archived photos and videos showing attendance at the same public events. These appearances demonstrate social overlap, but they do not establish personal closeness, insider knowledge, or involvement in alleged misconduct. High-profile figures often appear repeatedly at the same industry gatherings, especially in entertainment and fashion circles. Consistent attendance alone does not indicate awareness of private behavior that may have occurred outside public view. For that reason, this update does not rise to A tier. Without testimony, statements, or evidence showing knowledge or participation, this remains D tier social proximity, not proof of connection or accountability. Public speculation may be growing, but speculation is not evidence. This discussion stays focused on what can be verified, not what can be inferred. Some online commentary has suggested that older footage is difficult to find and has interpreted that, along with continued silence from the Kardashian family, as suspicious. However, archived content becoming harder to locate over time is common, and silence from public figures does not indicate knowledge, involvement, or intent. Without statements or evidence, these claims remain speculative and do not rise above D tier. Now, shifting to a separate update involving Sean Combs' incarceration. Recent reports claim he violated facility communication rules by participating in an unauthorized three-way phone call that allegedly included his legal counsel and a public relations representative. According to these reports, the call was flagged because inmates are restricted in how and with whom they can communicate, particularly when it involves media coordination. The situation reportedly resulted in an administrative penalty affecting his projected release timeline. These details are based on reporting and have not been independently confirmed through court filings. Any disciplinary actions are handled internally by correctional authorities under established procedures.
For Sean Diddy Combs trying to stop the release of a Netflix docuseries due out today.
We have to find somebody that'll work with us that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business.
The series contains never-before-seen footage of Combs debating strategy with his lawyers in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last year.
I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution.
According to reports, the disciplinary action included temporary restrictions on phone access and commissary privileges. These kinds of penalties are standard administrative measures when facility communication rules are violated, and they limit non-essential contact and privileges for a set period of time. I'm placing this update in D tier, not because it isn't notable, but because it follows a familiar pattern seen in many high-profile incarceration cases. Public figures often face added scrutiny around communications, and violations of those rules typically result in predictable consequences. While some have framed this as Sean Combs attempting to manage public perception, intent can't be assumed. What's clear is that this development doesn't introduce new legal stakes or unexpected turns. It's a routine administrative issue rather than a major shift in the case. This final update lands in S tier, not because of new allegations, but because of the media fallout now surrounding the case. Diddy's name is trending again as multiple documentaries and counter-documentaries begin to collide. One detail getting attention is that a separate, unrelated high-profile case is being handled by the same defense attorneys who previously represented Sean Combs. While shared legal representation isn't unusual among top firms, it's fueled online discussion about how concentrated elite legal defense can be. The bigger twist, though, is media strategy. Diddy's sons, Justin and Christian Combs, have announced they're producing a documentary intended to present their father's perspective. On its own, that's expected, but they're also reportedly working on a second project focused on 50 Cent, who previously released a documentary critical of Diddy. That's where things turn into full documentary warfare, competing narratives, dueling platforms, and reputation battles playing out in real time. Regardless of where you land, this marks a new phase where the legal fight is spilling directly into the media spotlight. The documentary push is now turning into a public back and forth. Reports say Justin and Christian Combs are planning projects that respond directly to criticism of their father, including one focused on 50 Cent. Rather than legal filings, this phase is playing out through competing documentaries and narrative control, highlighting how celebrity disputes are increasingly fought through media instead of courtrooms. Separate from that, online speculation has begun circulating claims about a supposed audio recording allegedly tied to Sean Combs. The story suggests the existence of old recordings linked to a former employee, but there's been no verification, release, or confirmation that such audio exists. At this stage, the recording claim remains an unsubstantiated internet rumor. Without authentication, sourcing, or acknowledgement from investigators or courts, it cannot be treated as evidence or legitimate development.
What is clear, and why this remains S-tier, is that the story has fully shifted into a media battlefield where speculation spreads faster than facts and narrative warfare is driving the headlines. Claims about a supposed audio recording allegedly linked to Sean Combs have continued to circulate online. However, there has been no confirmation from law enforcement, courts, or credible reporting that such a recording exists, has been reviewed, or is under investigation. Online rumors have also speculated about the identity and whereabouts of a former employee supposedly connected to the story. These claims are unverified, and there is no public information supporting suggestions of disappearance, cooperation with authorities, or protective arrangements. Without authentication, sourcing, or official acknowledgement, these stories remain internet speculation, not evidence. For that reason, none of this can be treated as proof of wrongdoing or escalation in the case. What does make this moment S-tier is how rapidly unverified claims can dominate headlines and fuel speculation. The situation shows how, in high-profile cases, rumor can quickly outpace confirmed facts, making it more important than ever to separate what's documented from what's merely alleged. At this point, the story has shifted from courtrooms to cameras. What started as lawsuits and legal filings has turned into a full-on media battle, with competing documentaries shaping public perception in real time. First, 50 Cent releases a project that draws massive attention. Now, members of Sean Combs' family are responding with documentaries of their own. It's no longer just about legal arguments, it's about narrative control. What makes this so unusual is the format. Instead of statements or interviews, both sides are using long-form documentaries to respond, rebut, and reframe. It's essentially a high-budget back and forth, with editing, interviews, and distribution platforms replacing diss tracks and press releases. That's why this moment earns S-tier status, not because of new legal revelations, but because of how unprecedented the media strategy has become. Few people expected the fallout to evolve into a documentary versus documentary standoff, and that alone marks a new, chaotic phase of the saga. All right, that wraps up this week's breakdown and tier ranking focused on Sean Combs. We covered the biggest verified updates, the online speculation worth questioning, and the media battles now shaping the narrative. As always, the situation is still evolving, and separating facts from rumors matters more than ever. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know which updates stood out the most. Do you agree with the tier placements, or would you rank something higher or lower? If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone following the story. And definitely hit the comments. We'll keep tracking the updates together. This story isn't finished, and when real developments happen, we'll be back to break them down. See you in the next one.